Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday before FOMC meeting. Let's go to the charts. Oh my. All right, well, pretty flat if we look here in the 10-year. Pretty flat since, the overnight session here. And same thing going on in the E-mini. Pretty, they've come back a little bit. Not too much news. There's a little bit about, trade deal and everything like that, but you can see here it's not a big deal. But, E-minis are up still. Pretty good run for over the week, so that's nice. And the initial action that we're getting here on the DOM is a sell. So that's kind of interesting. I got to be careful here because it is the end of the month and the tendency is for us to move up. But we got this FOMC meeting going and it can do anything. And I've found in the past that if the market is expecting some sort of a significant change coming out of the FOMC, that very often the Treasuries will move those 3 days going into it. So these next 2-3 days, it could be a hard trade. I'm not quite sure. I'm seeing the sell, but it's not automatically making me like, okay, I need to sell this. Normally when it does this, you get like a real trend come along. So let's just kind of see. Anyways, so that's what we got going. And good morning to everybody. Well, let's pull this over here. There we go. What do we got on the news? Let's blow my nose. Yeah, I think it's springtime because I'm getting a little bit of stuffiness. It's time to finish that cursed yard. That's what I think. Okay, so they're selling that a little bit. Still ticking down, but not quite going yet. Well, I mean, there's a reasonable amount being absorbed here at 20F, but it's the VWAP, so can't read too much into that. Anyways, in other news, let's see here. I got some news. Okay, here we go. So here's the big piece of news today. This is big news, folks. Well, harassing Norwegian ships likely trained by Russia, experts say. Yes, that's right. Norwegian marine experts have encountered a beluga whale they believe has been trained by the Russian Navy to harass foreign shipping as part of a wider program of utilizing marine mammals in military operations. So there's a whale floating around Norway, harassing ships, and he has a harness attached around him that says that he's from Russia. Yes. So apparently this whale was being trained by the Russians, escaped, and is now wreaking havoc across the Norwegian coast. No, not really. Apparently it's actually just friendly and tries to pull straps on the boat, so don't. Apparently it's not a huge deal. But it's still hilarious, don't you think? I think. I find it highly amusing. Now, of course, I think that they should have sent him to the Japanese. That probably would have been a little bit more effective. So we all know how they feel about whales. You ever seen that South Park episode about about Japanese whaling? Oh, that's good stuff. I need to go watch that one. I was watching the one the other day. Probably not the thing you guys want to hear about, but the one where they all get hybrid cars and become so smug that they like to smell the smell of their own farts. It's a good episode. It's a good South Park episode. Okay, so 20. I always want to say 200, but it's 20. 20 is offer. And about 1600 on top of it. So they are maybe signaling that they could continue down a little bit. I think I'm going to sit out this first little bit here. I don't have news, do we? Did I forget about news? Oh, yes. Personal spending. Forgot about that. The important numbers coming up here that I should make you aware of. Let's see, they should probably pull for it, so we'll see what happens. U.S. measles outbreak. China trade deal could be wrapped up in coming weeks. Surprised how much interest there is to do it here at 20. Quite a bit of big lots here at 20 as well. Some buying, some selling. Well, that 19.5 is pulling a little bit, but that's probably because of the news. So we are looking for a reading of spot 7 on the personal spending and 0.4 on personal income month over month. Spotify has reached 100 million paid subscribers. Okay, a little bit of a move up there. Assuming that means the numbers are bad. I haven't had them come up over here. Okay, March PCE core 1.6 versus an expected 1.7% expected year over year. That's not the number I want. Give me the income. Give me the income. Maybe I'm going to have to just refresh it over here. Will they give it to me? Nope, not yet. Okay, personal spending month over month was spot 9% versus an expected spot 7%, so that is positive. Still not getting the income number yet. Okay, the income was spot 1 versus an expected spot 4, so that's pretty bad. So I think based on the numbers, probably could be safe to buy here. Surprised they come back the way they did, though. Hmm. All seems a little uncertain. Yeah, Boozy got it there, spot 1. Dollar slides on biggest spending since 2009. Zero Hedge says no. It's because, well, I don't know why we've moved down. So we had a little bit of a bump up there, and it was reflected in the yen as well. Now they are pushing up again. There's a little bit of absorption there at 21, though. Five-year seems to be pushing down again. Cumulative delta overall is a buy, though, in the 10-year. Okay. Big sweep lower. 1,300 stacked on it. There's a big 7K there at 21. Could this be somebody trading for the FOMC? I don't know. I've kind of been feeling like the FOMC could come out and be slightly more hawkish, saying, hey, guys, guess what? We were right. Well, I'm not going to say they were right because I don't think that they were right to raise rates in December still. But they're right that the economy wasn't about to just completely fall apart. There's risks, but the economy did not just bottom out. So, but with these kind of numbers, is there any reason for them to raise interest rates? I don't think there are. So we could maybe stick around here. But they did push it down there. And I can see in particular that the yen really moved down there. And some people trading the futures over there that are probably very unhappy. That's got to be ugly for anybody long the Japanese yen. I mean, I don't know how much money that is in that move, but it seems like that was no good for them. You know what? We need to roll over our Bitcoin futures. Let's do that while we're sitting here watching. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Roll over. There we go. Down to the low. An absorption at 19 indicating a potential level break at 18.5. Well, I need to be very careful about taking that one because it is Monday and we're still being a little bit rangy here. Of course, as they did that, they tick up. Let's see, there was some replies to this zero hedge thing. Personal income line, good thing corporations are people now too. Am I right? Or that line would look really ugly. Hi, wrong. How's it going? Well, that wasn't too useful, that guy's comment, but I don't know. It seems to me that the problem in this economy is that people are not making more money. It seems to me that if you are a working class person, that there is too much competition, both from immigration here and from outsourcing abroad, that your labor is not worth very much. And it seems to me that if you're in a middle class job, like, you work at a call center, and even all the way up to, you're a computer programmer, that you are also experiencing competition from overseas. A lot of companies are now outsourcing their programming to India. And this decreases the value of your labor and it keeps wages low. And the Federal Reserve and economists and everything still seem to be pretending that they don't know why wages aren't increasing. But it seems pretty simple to me. There's more people in the pool, so your labor's not worth as much. Supply and demand. What do you mean by point one? He was talking about the personal income month over month number that was released about 10 minutes ago. So the numbers overall were pretty bad. And we did have a little bit of a rush up when those numbers came up, but then they sold it down. So I wasn't sure. I didn't take a trade, but I kind of wanted to. But I'm glad I didn't. And I'm not really sure what's going on here. Maybe they think that they're going to come out at the FOMC meeting and they're going to be a little bit dovish. Or sorry, a little bit hawkish, and that's why they're trying to push treasuries down. Because both the news and the seasonality of the month would tend to indicate that we should move up. So for us to be down at near the low of the days and testing lower here is pretty significant. Now, with that said, they're not just going for it. And there's never know if they reject this level. I mean, they haven't gone for it, so I can't say that there's a rejection here, but there has been quite a bit absorbed at 19. But if they do reject this level, that would be a really, really good sign for higher. But I just can't say. Anyways, as we were saying, seems to me like there's a pretty simple explanation for why people aren't making more money. And the problem that I think that the people in Congress and large companies and so forth have to face is that I think people are figuring it out. I think so. So I was reading another article yesterday, and they were pointing out that it's basically like now, if you want to live a middle class lifestyle, it often requires two incomes to do it. You have to have both the husband and the wife working, and they encouraged women to work because it increases GDP. The more people you have working, it increases GDP, and that's good for the economy overall, right? But it's not good for the worker because the worker's more competition, labor's worth less. And so now you get into this situation where it used to be that just the husband could work and that would be enough money. And now everybody's making less. So now you need both of them. And like I said, I think people are figuring it out. Well, it's been here in 19 an awful long time, but I think that they might be able to push through 18.5 now. We'll see if they do it. I also want to watch out for any kind of big stack at 18.5 if we tick up. S&P futures have yet to follow Europe and the rest of the world into red. Farm proprietors' income plunged 41% in March. What is that? What does that mean, farm proprietors? Farm proprietors' income is the income received by the sole proprietorships and partnerships that operate farms. So, farmers making less money. And was that a major reason for why it come down? Well, you know what? Let's come over here. Do we have? Okay, here we do. Bureau of Economic Analysis. Personal income. March 2019, 0.1%. Current release. Personal income increased 11.4 billion in March, according to estimates released today by the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Disposable personal income increased 0.6 billion, less than 0.1%, and personal consumption expenditures (PCE) increased. Okay, well, we went down. I didn't have a seller in there, so that's something else. And it kind of looks like it did it all by itself. Well, that's pretty ugly, but it looks like that somebody just stopped out there. Anyways, those are all the headline numbers. Where is, does it give us like a split out? Bum, bum, bum. In February, real PCE decreased 2.8 billion, which reflected a 23.4 billion decrease in spending on goods. This was partially offset by an increase of 16.4 billion in spending on services. Within goods, food and beverage purchases for off-premises consumption was the leading contributor to the decrease. Within services, the largest contributor to the increase was spending on household electricity and gas. Detailed information. Is there related materials? Full release in tables. When is he at tables only? Personal income and its disposition. It's not giving me percentages, so that's not too helpful. Man, that really just went, didn't it? So if we're gonna move down, ooh, the way that it's going, there could be quite a bit more in this too. Okay, so some absorption at 16 and ticking back up, and pretty big stack there as well. They're not even going to let it get past 17. So I'm going to have to sit this one out. So I'm not sure that I want to sell 16.5. At the moment, they're saying, nope, this is as far as you go. Personal income and its disposition percent change from preceding period. Okay, so March. Spot 3, so where was the negative ones? Proprietor's income with inventory valuation and capital consumption adjustments was negative. Personal income receipts on assets was negative. Personal interest income and dividend income was down. Everything else was kind of in line. What was something? Okay, personal current taxes were up 0.9. Personal consumption expenditures, goods and durable goods, up quite a bit. Very interesting. So, just going into the details on this report, it seems to me that aside from farmers not making as much, these numbers aren't really a huge deal. I'm not going to say that they're in line with the estimates or anything, but I don't see anything in here that's like really bad or really good. Neither side to justify this move that we saw down. I think though that somebody that was long puked there for sure. That was quite the move down. And I'm quite surprised that they stacked the way they did at 17. Maybe we trade back up through it a little bit though. But I see quite a bit of space, and we could move all the way down to the bottom from the news on Friday, frankly, which would be all the way down at 09. Oh, that's really far down there, guys. I don't know if we can actually make it to that, but that's just the whole thing is that they're saying there could be an as she goes trade here. See, Lucas is trying to get short at 16.5. And that's the thing that's kind of messing me up here is that we only got one tick up and they're holding a strong offer preventing us from moving up any more than that. They really clamped down on it. Now we could sell this as she goes, and if they really are going to move down lower, we would probably be okay. And there could probably be a second or third wave in this. But I don't know. Man, that sure moved down quickly though, didn't it? Like I was reading something, And I looked back over and it was, I mean, so there was no way that I could have been involved in that. But it's just the speed of it, I think, is really important to note. See, now they're saying I'm not even going to fill you at 16.5. I don't know. I'd be surprised if they didn't, but still. Oh man, everything's red. But the E-mini did not move. E-mini did not really move. So we gotta be careful with this because lungs may still be out there. Like if that was one guy puking, maybe that's not the end of the world. I don't know. That was a pretty wild. And for a Monday, and for it to be against the news. Okay, so they're hitting into 16 and there's a big iceberg there. And there's a big iceberg in the 5-year as well. And they get through the iceberg in the 5-year. Okay, they win offer. They are absorbing on the offer. Oh man. Five-year down again. Already. At yesterday's open, sure seems like a nice juicy target. Well. Have a good enough position in line there that I might be able to get it. $2.98 yields got to break sometime. Says Dojo. Okay. Well, the 5-year wants to just run. Seth, do you have friends that are full-time traders? Well, I mean, we have a couple of people that are here in chat that, well, for instance, I think that Ace is full-time, right? He's always talking about, you should just do this and then stay home with me all day. So I think we do know a few. Not too, I don't know people that well, but I guess. I have to say though, if you're getting started in this space, and you're just starting out trading treasuries or you're going to be trading micro E-minis, I think that we all sit down with the goal that is to become a full-time trader. Oh my gosh, wow. Just like 6K just flushes it down lower just all at once. I'm just absolutely shocked the way this is moving. There are not any targets down below us in the 10-year, all the way until '05. Okay, well they are getting a little bit of backwash here, so this is a squeeze, I guess. The way the action happens seems seems to indicate to me a squeeze. Man, and look at them stacking up at 15. Did I actually get 2 contracts? Oh, I did. Both of them from 14.5. So here, I don't know if I actually meant to do it that way, but uh, that's okay. Oh, I know why. Because I never switched my DOM over to stacking ones. Okay. Well, that's good though. That's what I wanted to do. Need to change my strategy a little bit to give me different targets, but I don't have the yield on my platform, but I watched the curve on CNBC/bonds, and they had the 30-year marked at 2.948% this morning. That's really low, in my opinion. I agree. Here's the thing. Okay, fine. I thought that I could get filled at 14, but now that it's ticked up and they've stacked 2,000 on it, I want to get +2 off of the one contract is the deal. And then that way, if they come back against us and I give it the 2 ticks, it'll be break even. Bum bum bum. Anyways, I feel like that where we're at right now is really low yields. I feel that the Federal Reserve has every reason to feel confident right now, because even though I think that it was too much, they shouldn't have raised in December. It doesn't look like it's the end of the world. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that the Federal Reserve can make a policy mistake and it's not the end of the world. I kind of like that. But this move itself is very much it's not like I didn't expect it. I kind of was warning people, hey, I know that we tend to buy here because it's the end of the month, but there's this FOMC and people might want to try and sell it going into the FOMC, because I think that the Federal Reserve might start feeling confident and saying, hey, I don't think that we're going to raise interest rates anytime, or sorry, we're not going to lower interest rates anytime soon because everything seems to be going along nicely. But maybe we just hold them steady until we start to see some inflation. Well, so we did kind of say maybe it's going to happen, but the way that it has happened, something else, I think. They bought it and then they sold it down, and it kind of got there for no reason, and now it seems that there are some people very much underwater and that we are having they're squeezing out longs lower. Now this was the second wave down, I'm going to say. I think that was the second wave down. So, and we're nowhere close to targets below us. So we could move lower, and they are stacking on top of us. So everything at the moment looks good for lower. But that's one of the crazier stop runs I've seen. Morning, yes, I'm Seth's friend and I'm a full-time trader. Uh, we need to get together and go camping this summer, I think is what we got to do. Like I because Ace lives so close, we got to get together sometime. It's just hasn't been the best time right now because when I got free time, I got to fix up my yard. But definitely a few times in the summer. And then at the end of the summer, like in August, then I always like to try and go out for the meteor shower if the weather is good. So we should definitely get together then. But I guess the thing is, what, 90, they say that it's 90%. I think it's probably more like 95, 98% of traders fail. But we have met a number of successful full-time traders. It can be done. And I'll add that most people give up way too early. They will save up a little bit of money, and there's probably not enough money to really become successful in trading. And then they don't have a handle on their emotions, and they give up too much, and then they're just like, I'm done, and that's the end of it. And yeah, I think they were saying that 80%, something like 80%, are washed out before 3 years. And we've been saying that based on my experience, that it could be at least 3 years until you start to get any kind of consistency underneath you. So I think some people do say that, you have to take it seriously, and then a lot of people just give up too easily and stuff. And I think that there's some truth to that. Most people are just not that into it, I guess. But I think that if you've been coming in here and watching with me every morning, and Wrong definitely qualifies, because it's been a couple months now, he's been in here every day. I think that definitely means that you're ahead of the pack, that you're part of the group that is going to hold on a little bit longer. Doesn't guarantee that you'll become a long-term profitable trader, but it means that he's probably better than 50% of the people that fail. Yeah. Well, there was pretty big absorption there at 15. They ticked up. I'm not seeing anything too huge all the way up until 17. I do believe that we could see a bit of a pullback here, but I'm kind of trying something new today because I'm trying to take multiple targets, and I believe, and the idea here is that because we've got a trend, this should allow me to give it a little bit more room to breathe and just hold on to it longer. Which is something I've always wanted to do. So let's just see how it turns out. So normally, if I had taken that, I would be, I had +2, and it'd be like, oh man, I should have gotten out at 14.5, and now I'm going to have to take it out at break even. And if I move it up to 16.5, then that's no good because, then I'm losing 2. But the way that we have it now, I can take it off and it'll be break even, so I'll be happy with it. Experiment though. We are into the time period where we know that I have problems, especially after this week. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade the micros when they come out a little bit. I'm going to be super cautious because I'm really concerned about slippage in micros. But I do want to trade it in the first month, and I'll probably trade it for that first month and then wait until the end of the summer. Okay, so they're stacking a pretty decent amount there at 15.5. Maybe he's going to come up and try and stop me out. Let's see. Well, decent amounts are ticking at every price here, though. This looks... So when you get a break, I'll see it like, okay, so we came here, we had a break lower, and then you'll kind of get this backwash, right? And it will run into quite a wall. And you can kind of see that right here, right? They bought up, but there was enough people selling based off of the continuation that we did break and we went lower, okay? Then on the second wave, you tend to get a profile. And I think that the profile is like this right here. So I think that we could fill in this area for a little bit. And then maybe if equities come out and are positive, especially if they are positive, maybe we could get a break of these lows again and a move lower. But if we do, it's going to take a long time. So this is an unorthodox trade for me. I'm trying something new and it might not work out. And I want this trade to be worst case break even. So if they come up there, then I just stop out and it's break even and we're fine. Another nice thing about doing it this way, if we get it, is that if it does move the 2 ticks against me, and I say, oh, hey, wait, they stopped me right out where I want to get in, I could try taking it again. I don't think I will, but that's always something that's bothered me. Okay, so they're kind of, they're absorbing at 15.5 a little bit. There is a good amount of liquidity stacking out there, so definitely if I wasn't trying this experiment, I think I would be thinking about getting out. So like they're right there at 15.5 is a good opportunity. And they're not stacking too much. 14 to 17. See, ticks back up. So you would have gotten filled, or if you'd gone long there, you'd have the edge. You'd have the edge, but I'd be concerned if I was long. Well, ace is going short as usual. 29.41. They appear to be buying it at the moment. Just a little bit, but I noticed there was a tick up there in the E-mini and the Treasuries ticked lower. So I think that they're worried that E-mini comes out and is bullish again this week. It doesn't mean that he's ain't going to get his trade, though. Seems like there's always that little sell. His target is 29.3675. I see it. But if we were to go down to 29.3675, why wouldn't they go down to 29.3475 and test these pivots from the 25th? If they go to Ace's target and stop there, that's and turned around there, that could actually be very bullish. 4 tick stop, $50 plus per contract. Yep. I often only use a 3 tick stop, but I got in late this morning. Okay. Well, the 16 is pulling now. Well, that's going. Let's open this thing up and try this, messing with this strategy. So I want to add a second one here. I'll put them both at 4. But then target ticks it. This one should be 6 and this one should be 2. And how do you change the quantity? Should be 1 and 1, I guess. Okay, so it ticked up at 16. I'm having a hard time not clicking out because I know that there's a pretty good possibility of it stopping me out, but I want to stick to the experiment. Okay, well, the E-mini did have a few ticks up there, and now it's kind of stopped. So I think that on this one, I can do this. I want to just do single lots on the E-mini for a bit. And then I know it's really hard to... Okay. Even though I know it's really hard to trade one lot on the E-mini, I feel like that's the best practice. So this is the first time I'm watching your trades, really? Talking about Ace's trade? Hope you're talking about his trade, because if you're watching my trade, you know. See, there's a decent amount of liquidity holding there at 16. It kind of seems like they're going to shove it up. Yeah. I don't know if he uses RSI. I kind of think that he just has a time period where he looks for a short and he kind of just judges it based on the DOM. And this one's kind of difficult because it seems to me that there is a little bit of buying going on here in the E-mini, but that their momentum is slowed down. I suspect that there will be a little bit of a sell before the open. But you can see in the cumulative delta, right? Very, very little, but it's gentle buying. Ace took a loss on it, huh? Well, quite a bit has traded into 16 in the 10-year, 39.14. And they're still stacking 3,000 on it. If they were to make 16 go offer, I wonder. Nope. There you go. There's our stop. It took me out at -1. I was going to say if they were able to get below that, it could be pretty crazy. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This, it looks like where my stop wasn't just in a bad spot. But anytime that I say that and I let it give it some more room, then they just keep going. Okay, so there was a little bit of unusual buying there in the mini. Hmm. Feeling a little sleepy. No reason to be feeling sleepy, but I feel a little sleepy here. Okay. Down tick. My CMA guy just texted and said they're turning it down now, but it's too late for me today. 718. Mm, there's this iceberg here. They're gonna send it to the moon with Bitcoin. No. I am quite frankly shocked and appalled that Bitcoin is still above 5,000. Shocked and appalled. There is absolutely no reason that this commodity should be at this place, and the whole Tether situation I think is extremely concerning. And the market is not appropriately pricing in that risk. And if Tether goes heads up, which it looks like it could, you're going to get a Mt. Gox style sell. Except for that, it's going to happen after we already had a pretty big bubble pop, 2 years ago. So can you imagine if we had a Mt. Gox level event here at 5,000? Yeah, you're going to be well below 1,000. So I think that Bitcoin is quite insane that they are trading above 5,000. Now, if you had caught the short one, we were saying that maybe it's time for it when we were up at, you know, 5,600 or so. I think you probably just waited out. Okay. So it looks like treasuries are moving down a little bit because the equities are pushing. And it looks like a balanced area right here. Okay. The 30-year appears to be taking quite a hit there. Well, they appear to still be buying the treasuries. The deltas are still buying, which is very curious because it appears to be in a spot where you could take a short. Mid 16.5 would have been good. Okay, so what's with this? 29, 42, 25. Big bid. Ace is going off to lunch and says he'll see us on the other side. Yeah, it should be interesting here. I have a target down south at 146.31 in ZB if it can break the lows. I'm a little on the fence right now. Liquidity seems to favor the downside, but ... Well, in ZB, it definitely favors the downside. ZB really fell down there, which is really curious. Yeah, that's really curious. It made the spread go up, but then I'm seeing sorry, there's definitely something going on weird here in the yield curve. Okay. See, they sell it there. They sold it there in the E-mini, but then it stacked back up again. Some buyers are going to take some more there. Donald Trump has tweeted, people are fleeing New York State because of high taxes and, yes, even oppression of sorts. They don't even put up a fight against SALT. Could have won. So much litigation. The NRA should leave and fight from the outside of this very difficult to deal with unfair state. Well, it looks like that 15.5 is going to go off here in a second, and we'll see what happens at the 15 and 14.5. Okay, so a decent amount pulled at 15. But they ticked into it and ticked back up, and they're flipping the dom again. And it looks like that maybe they're buying it up because they expect E-minis are still selling. Hmm. Okay. Another little bit of a step down in the E-mini. And the offer lined up a little bit, but not a ton in the 10-year. So now we're back to this situation that I hate where, I took a trade and I haven't been stopped out, but we got the open here in a few minutes, and there's enough volatility in the open that it could stop me out and I could still be right. Okay, tick back down in the 10-year. Riveting action, friends. Riveting action. Okay, less than a minute. Well, I think I want to be out. Crap, they're already moving up here. Come on. All right. Well, there wasn't like a crazy move there on the open, so this could be range bound E-mini. Okay. Hmm. Not going to take it at 29.42 yet, huh? There you go. Nope. Too late now. All right, well. It seems like they're buying it in the E-mini so far. But we're only talking about 500 contracts or so. A couple of targets are showing up above us. I think I'll wait the 15 minutes. Let's hit 29, 43, 50. Yeah. They do seem to be buying it, but how much are they going to get out of it? And the volume on the open was tepid enough that you might see really range bound trading in the E-mini. That seems to be the tendency I've noticed, is that the action right on the open, it is a good indication of how much trend the E-mini has in it that day. If it's tepid on the open, you don't want to be chasing it. I want to go back to bed, guys. I don't know what my deal is, but okay. So they're breaking new highs now. Is that a new high? Well, it's a regular session high at least. Okay. 16 went offer there in the 10-year. Ooh, and 15.5 is pulling. Wake up. S&P index rises to intraday record. Is that? What do I got here? Nope, it's not quite. It's still up there at like 54.25. They still got a good 10 points. Ship coup against Trump is biggest violation of Constitution in history. Okay, so I got filled, but I don't like having 3,000 stack on top of me when I get filled. The offer is holding pretty strong, but I don't like. Well, yeah, as soon as I say that, they pull it. Thanks. Thanks, Tyler. Okay, well, the automated strategy thing worked correctly. The E-mini had a little bit of a move down there. I think that's what we got filled on. But there's a lot stacking at 17. Well, and that was a lot of volume that fell down there, and now they're pushing it back up to the high. The little equity index that could. Ooh, bid pumping up. Nope. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, goes bid in 16. They do appear to be reacting to the equities. Okay, so I'm not seeing that 7K up there anymore protecting us. And that 16.5 pulled a little too easily. It's not in line with what's happening in the 5-year. So, them being not in line is not something I like to see. Okay. It does look like the ES is going to try and push a new high and stop people out. Um, on your position box on the left of your screen, how do you get it to show the total P&L for the day and closed P&L? Mine doesn't seem to show this. So when you're looking at it, are you on the positions tab? If you go to the positions tab, it should look pretty much exactly like what you see right now. Okay, well, my 16 is going off again. Briefly. ES is like right there on the edge. Oh man. The Bitcoin is the only asset that matters. I disagree. I disagree. Okay, so the E-mini was pushing the highs there, but they're backing off again. Okay. Couple quick hits there into 16, but it's not staying bid. Is this 15.5 going to pull? But it's not showing the total P&L in the yellow boxes on the bottom of the box. So this flat checked and flat all, if you don't have the flat checked and flat all button, then you're not on the latest version of Day Trader. Because that was released in the most recent update in March, I think it was. And if it's not showing you the total, I mean, you might see the boxes there, but it not showing you the total that you want. Then sometimes you just have to click the refresh button. For the way that it calculates it is weird, and sometimes it's not always spot on for some reason. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's kind of weird like that. Okay, 16's gone back and forth many times now. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There was a little spike there to 17 for a moment. Okay. Come on, little Eamon, you can do it. I believe in you. Come on, think about all those nice juicy stops there are up there above 29.46. You're gonna have to go a little bit further, but look at how many people have gone short through here. It's gonna be fun. You know you want to do it. Okay, so that's a little bit too many people buying there into 29.46 before it goes. Okay. All right, well, there's the stops. At least a little bit of stops. There's probably a lot more in it. Well, I shouldn't say a lot more, but there seems they haven't created a new high in cumulative delta, so there could be some more stops. And we did get the 15.5 to go offer there, but I didn't get my fill at 15. Okay. Well, now they're at a new cumulative delta high. Well, this just ain't cooperating today, is it? Got the move that I wanted, but not the fill. It's a pretty aggressive sell, too. I don't... Well, now that the Yemeni is at where it is, you're in new territory now. So, considering the number of people that were trying to sell it there, Still kind of slow. I don't know. Now we're at a period where I could take a trade in the E-mini, but I think I would prefer to buy it. And I don't know if 29.46 is the right spot. Okay, so they're selling 15.5. They absorbed all that. Okay, so now some buying. There seems to be a buy program there, but he's not getting it. It stayed offer. Well, that is a good sign. I'm not going to say it's a terribly strong signal, but I think that that is a good sign for our short. Now stacking to 2 and the E-mini kind of stepping up there again. I'm still feeling like I want to fall asleep, guys. What's the deal? Hmm. Okay. It goes bid again at 15.5. And it stacks up to 32 again as the E-mini sells a bit. Hmm. Okay. Bit of selling there, and the E-mini made the 16 go bid again. But they immediately come fight back. That right there looks to me like, if I'm patient here. Hmm. Okay, so far, no. Okay. So somebody's holding there 29, 20, 44, 25. 16.5 is pulling again? Only 500? Did that already go bid? No. Okay. So there's a little range here. I think I took my position on the wrong side of the range. Might work out, but I probably could have gotten it a little better. Man, why is that pulling? Okay, that's a little better. Okay, that's a little more encouraging. There's somebody still selling it there, but I think they got through him. No. Things over here appear to be, I don't know if this up 15 is ever going to get filled, man. They do appear to be reacting very much to what the E-mini is doing. See, they just pushed back down to the bottom side of that range in the E-mini too. They bought her a watch for her birthday yesterday. Hmm. Okay. 15.5 is looking weak now on this side. It's kind of like whichever way the E-mini is going, they're pulling and they look scared in the treasuries. Is some liquidity stacking up above them in the E-mini. Are they going to be able to make it through that? Warren explaining the wealth tax. How many people own a home? Most hands go up. You've been paying a wealth tax for years. They just call it a property tax. I just want their tax to include the diamonds, the yachts, and the Rembrandts. Wrong. That's not how it works. Property tax is not necessarily a wealth tax. It's a tax on owning property. It's kind of like putting a tax on owning property is very different from putting a tax on owning wealth, because people are always going to have property. You have to have property to like live, you know. And since the territory all belongs to the United States, there's a justification for us. That's the reasoning behind it. I don't know if that's a valid comparison. I don't think that comparison is going to work for her in terms of convincing people to sign on to her tax plan. It's pulling. It's pulling, and the offers above us in the E-mini have lightened up a little bit. I'm still 3,000 in line at 15th, so it seems like that these guys aren't pulling, that they want fills. Now, if they fill that at 15, that'd be super great. Okay, so they did get through the big order, and they are pushing new highs in cumulative delta. So this is kind of interesting because now it's a price cumulative divergence the other way. Before it was they hadn't quite made a new high in cumulative delta. Um, now it's like they've made a new high in cumulative delta, but not in price. Well, there's still a lot absorbing at 15.5, and they just don't want me to get filled. How much you willing to buy there, bud? Okay, a little bit of a sell there in the E-mini. They seem to handle that okay. Still looking at this 15.5 though. How big of an iceberg is this going to be? They're still reacting to the ticks in the ES as well. And the 5-year is not aligned correctly. Okay. That one caused a little bit more pulling in the 10. Not enough to make it go. Top Chicago prosecutor subpoenaed over office's decision to drop smaller charges. Oh, that news was from like earlier in the weekend. Why are you posting that now? So there's this tweet here that Zero Hedge just retweeted. How much is this thing I need? Cashier, it's $20. But last year it was $15. Cashier plus, yes, but now it's cheaper because it's better. But it's not cheaper, it's 33% more, it's $20. Cashier, no, it's 50% better and $20. You what? Cashier, do you have an economic PhD, sir? Oh, man. Isn't that how it is, though? It's like no matter what happens, they're always finding a way that to screw you over if you're not on the right side of the trade, right? Even if you're not trading futures. Okay, so that 15.5 is now stacked up a little bit again. And the E-mini has been buying, but they haven't been able to make it above our buy there. And the sellers are starting to push a little bit. Oh, okay, so there is an iceberg at 16 that is 7K. And they push it back down. That is very, very curious. The E-mini did appear to handle the sell there. This is kind of an interesting pattern here in the cumulative delta too. The way that you're getting these buy waves. A third buy wave. It looks like a head and shoulders. I should post this one. That is a very curious pattern right there, my friends. I've seen that go both ways. Okay, it did go by bid at 16. 85.95 to do it. Seller's not letting it go. Well, there's a buyer there. Quite a bit. Well, that's not too encouraging. Well, the 10-year has been stuck in this range for a very, very long time. And it's kind of budged a little bit up and a little bit down, and it's still just kind of stuck here at 16. Almost as if they know and they're arguing over whether they're going to let me win this time or not. And the E-mini trade appears to be, having some trouble too, because they're like right. They're holding the open price still, but you can see that delta. Some people sold that. How much? I've had plus 10 on this at one point. Oh. I haven't been managing this as actively as I should. Because if it came up to 10, I should probably have moved my target up or my stop up. Okay. Some short covering there, I think. Your mom goes both ways. Up or down USD JPY. Okay, so this is a good observation. The JPY has been overall down, but it's been pretty much flat, just like the treasuries have been flat since the big sell. I hate when levels hold like they are down here in ZB sidelines my butt. Yeah. Well, if the E-mini decides to buy this, and I think that you may have just gotten a false breakdown there. Let's see. Could still go either way. It could really break down here and break the regular session low, and then the E-mini could probably sell a lot. But they appear to be just still fighting still. And then the 10-year, it's the same thing. It went bid at 16, but you're not getting a ton into 16.5 yet. Well, you did there as the E-mini sold. Okay. 21.86 to buy it up. And you notice that they were pulling on the bids and absorbing. And they're pulling on the offers, and they absorbed at 16, but now they're not holding it. 29.45. Trap. Well, they're gonna stop me out. I'll tell you that much. Yep. See, now the 65 is absorbing some stuff. So the absorption at the moment in the treasuries looks bullish. At least in the 10-year. Not quite the same thing going on here in the 5-year. Did not. Okay, they are pushing beyond the open now. Yeah, ZB found support at CNGO. Well, there it is right there. That's our... So I think now... that's interesting that couldn't even get 2 out of that. The big question is, at this point of the day, assuming the buildup is bullish, will we get a move before lunch? I don't know. I kind of feel like that the big move happened, you know? The thing is for as big of a move as that was down, for us to be now well over an hour, almost 90 minutes past, and have been this slow, that is not necessarily indicative of more movement today. You know what I mean? Especially on a Monday. It's like somebody got stopped out and they're probably regretting it now. Just churning and testing, yeah. Now on my side, for the 10-year, I probably could have gotten 16.5. And that would have given me a little bit more room. I haven't been having much luck with the E-mini, have I? I think that to make this work, I might have to have a bigger stop. Be a bit more patient on it. And I'm not quite sure what to do about the entries. The entries just aren't efficient enough in the equities for this to work. Risk 250 to make 500 in E-mini. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm thinking micros. So if I'm micros, I could maybe risk 16 ticks in micros. Yeah. Oh, was thinking I was talking treasuries. While I'm doing the thing in treasuries, I'm trying multiple contracts. That a different way of doing it. Because I've tried doing it as like take one and then build a position there, and take some profit. I don't think that that's the right way to do it. So now I'm thinking, okay, I can do it like just before the range. So if I can get 2 ticks, should be able to do that. I think that I think I was okay. I mean, I don't know. If I had taken 16.5, then I would have gotten it, wouldn't I? And then I would still be in it. But it's not really showing me any real edge here in the 10-year anymore. But I should have taken it, or 17. You know, I could have taken it in 17. Okay. So the E-mini went and probed lower, and now it's back up to where it was, and it actually beat out the last swing high. So it is in super meat grinder mode. And the 16.5 went offer again. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to take another trade today. It is Monday. I did 2 in both. That's probably okay. Hmm. So a little bit more aggressive of a sell there at 16.5. Friggin' lunch. In micros, that's like 80 ticks for 50. Yeah, no, it's a lot. You're never going to get that. Well, it's not, you're never going to get that, but I'm just thinking, okay, like a swing is like 8 ticks, and if I get 16, that's a little bit more. But then I'm finding myself getting stopped out. So now I'm thinking, if I could take it and I could give it 16, then I could swing. 16 would be 4 ticks. That's what I used to do, and swing it with a micro contract. And if I get a buy, you just hold it. Well, I was wrong 29.44. So this is what I mean by like a meat grinder. Like it goes down 8 ticks, then it goes 8 ticks. They know that there are people out there with stops at 8. So that's why they take it from there. It's like, where did everybody get in at? Oh, 29.44 to 29.44.50. Well, let's move down 8 ticks this way first, and then we'll move up 8 ticks this way. That's how it works. That's why anytime you take a trade and it seems like all of a sudden that it's a really popular price, you should be concerned. Beto O'Rourke announces 5 trillion plan to combat climate change that he says will keep the Earth from sliding past the point of no return in less than a generation. Okay. That's a lot of money. $5 trillion. Man. $29. Oh, then we did not. Did I stop it early? There we go. And it's still not giving us anything until 56, but it's at 143. Okay. The Bitcoins. Oops, missed one. Verge looks so dead. All right, gonna type here. Okay. Well, IQ says ZP found support. Oh. Oh, we're wondering if Peter added to his position in CV down here. It's totally sounds like something he would do. Well, maybe not add to it, but hold it through that. I think he might. Um, I don't know though. I don't like this action here. This is really bad action. You know, and to have taken one in there and then not have it turn out, I think that we need to see something that tells us that that action's not happening anymore to take it. And since we've got 10 minutes left before I gotta take the kids into school, I think it's probably better to just call it here. By the way, I did get a new video out for the politics. You took a break last week. Not the perfect video. I need to work on the camera a little bit because I accidentally had the auto exposure on, And so there's like some weird places where when I move, it tries to adjust, which is really annoying. But, um, still fun stuff. I think we're getting better. Um, I've gotten good feedback on that. So always let me know what you guys think. Check out the Patreon if you haven't. I post every day, and you can see the posts public. Non-subscribers can see it a week later. So, if you want to see today's note, you'll be able to see it on the 6th if you visit. The link is in the video description. I hope that you guys all did okay today. Oh, what's Uzi saying? One of my dogs just came in for a hug, apparently. Oh, jeez. That's why you close the door. No distractions, man. Well, anyways, I will catch you guys tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.